Hey there everyone, happy Thursday. I'm King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon. Another day with a lot of smoke haze across the sky, and that did help to keep temperatures down, at least suppressed a little bit here across the area. And we saw some cloud coverage too, all that mixing in, and we're still continuing to see some impact to our air quality, but thankfully it's not as bad as what areas farther to the east are dealing with. Eastern Washington and heading closer to where some of those fires are, definitely dealing with some poor air quality, so we're going to get into that. And we're also going to talk about how temperatures right now, even though they have been suppressed by some of the clouds and some of that wildfire smoke, well, they'll keep going down as we head on into the weekend, as we get a little more of that onshore push to come in. Could even be some rain chances on the way for us. Not a ton, but it looks like we'll get some moisture here into the area. But I want to start off with this. This is the latest drought monitor just released today, and it shows that we really haven't seen a whole lot of improvement at all. Continuing to notice severe drought and extreme drought here across the area, especially for spots across the central and the North Cascades. And this has kind of been the driving force for why we've been seeing so many of the fires and why we've been dealing with the wildfire smoke here recently, because conditions have just been dry and really they have led to those fires that do develop to spread rather rapidly. And so that's what we're going to continue to deal with here, at least for the next few days. Finally, it looks like we are going to get more of that onshore push to come back, and that's going to help to blow some of the smoke off towards the west. But for right now, I wanted to show you what's happening on the satellite imagery. You see cloud coverage, that's actually indicated by some of the brighter whites that you're seeing right there. And then at the same time, too, you see that hazy sort of milky color. That is going to be our smoke that's in the atmosphere. Most of it for us here west of the Cascades. It's going to be higher up, so little impact when it comes to our air quality, but nevertheless, it's still around, and it's been producing more of those very vivid sunrises and sunsets, and as well as giving us more of an orange look to our sun. So we do still have those fire alerts out there. The red flag warning that you see in the pink color, well, that's with us until 9 p.m. tonight. Hot and dry and unstable conditions, and we're going to talk about it here coming up in a bit. But even some of the fires that have developed, they kind of have their own sort of micro weather system within them themselves. I'll explain that here in just a bit, but wanted to go over the temperatures here as we go throughout the next week or so. Starting to drop from the low 80s down into the mid and lower 70s over the weekend, and staying more so around the low 70s heading into next work week. Some extra clouds and some showers that are going to be in the forecast for us. But looking up this way around Paradise, hazy skies. Same story for us here at Port Angeles. Kind of a hazy look looking at this view. Usually we could see Mount Baker off into the distance. Not the case here for today. Everett, some clouds as well as, yes, noticing more of that smoke haze in the air. And then, yeah, you can definitely tell what's happening here looking in Seattle from our Queen Anne camera. We've got the wildfire haze pretty much right overhead, and some of those clouds too, which are keeping things a bit on the cool side and has kept those temperatures more so around the upper 70s and the lower 80s. We're going to drop our numbers tonight down into the low 60s. We'll start off around those marks tomorrow morning. Yeah, a clear night per se, but again, remember that smoke haze is going to be in the air. Check out what it's done to our temperatures. You can see a lot of our numbers down by either 5 to 10 degrees in most spots, so definitely bringing a noticeable cool down as temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 70s, and even seeing some 60s out towards the coast, and that's getting early into your evening hours here on Thursday. Now, I did mention this. What's been happening with this smoke, and why is it that we're seeing so much of it recently, and why is it such a concern? Why do we still have red flag warnings out? Well, this is why. We do have what's coming off of some of these fires. It's some hot pockets of air, and when those hot pockets of air make their way up to the upper parts of the atmosphere, they eventually make its way to where it's cooler, and it starts to condense and it forms a cloud, and from that you get somewhat of a thunderstorm sort of environment for it. So we're going to get instability, and from that there's not a ton of moisture. Yes, you can produce rain, but a lot of times we're talking about just dry lightning, because you get the instability without the moisture, and you get the lightning to strike, and guess what? You get what could possibly create additional fires. Definitely going to have those ingredients around, so this is why all of this kind of works and feeds off of each other, and why it's such a precarious sort of situation that we're in with the current fires that have been really just flaring up so rapidly here over the past few days, and why we definitely need some of that cooler and more damp air to come back from off the Pacific to kind of limit some of this, and eventually hopefully we can get some rain to go along with that. So looking at what we're dealing with as far as radar, speaking of rain, well, we do have some showers just off of the coast there, and you can see more of them are off down to the south across Oregon. That's going to be heading northward, and that's going to help to eventually bring in some shower chances. Looking at futurecasts, that really doesn't show up here tonight or into the day for tomorrow. We'll look out towards the coast for maybe a few sprinkles, but at the same time, too, we'll start to get a little more of that marine layer to start to come back in. And at this point, we're past when our red flag warning will expire. But you can see marine layer, that's where that milky color, again, coming in. There it is right there. It's even making its way in across areas around Puget Sound, which will mean maybe some fog to start off early tomorrow morning. We've seen that here recently, too. It does burn off just like the recent days, though, and we'll see more sunshine and more of that hazy look to the sky as we head on into the afternoon and into the evening. And then check this out as we head on into tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Some showers and storms possible across the mountains, but the chances don't really increase for us here in the lowlands until we head into Saturday. And it looks like better chances will be heading into Saturday morning. Maybe not exactly at 7 a.m., but look at some point here Saturday morning for some showers and move on through. Kind of a quick round. It gets in, gets out of here, and then we're keeping an eye out for another round as we head on into more of the day on Sunday. It looks like we'll see the better chances for areas across the mountains with some of the heavier rain that could follow with that, but we'll keep an eye out here in the lowlands as well. So we'll call up for a few showers heading into Saturday and for Sunday. We'll definitely have more of a partly sunny day heading into the day tomorrow with more of those hazy skies as the smoke just continues to cover the area here across a lot of the state. And looking at futurecasts, well, we have that going on into Sunday, and then you can see that spin in the atmosphere coming from off of the Pacific. Well, that helps to bring in a bit more of a rain chance, and Tuesday is looking like it's going to be our highest chance of rain as that starts to make its way in. That'll definitely cool temperatures down. We'll see a lot of highs in the 60s or either maybe just barely in the low 70s. That will continue to spin on through here as we head on into Wednesday and into Wednesday night and into Thursday. We'll keep an eye out for maybe more partly sunny conditions as we keep an eye out to the west as things could be starting to pick up a bit more as far as maybe some of this fall weather trying to find its way in and bringing us some much needed rainfall. Tonight, lows generally in the 50s. We'll have a few areas only fall into the 60s, though. And then as we head on into the day for tomorrow, topping off at 73 in Blaine, 78 in Mount Vernon, 72 in Orcas Island, the upper 60s around Oak Harbor and getting closer to Camano Island. We'll be at 74 in Clinton, 75 in Linwood, Granite Falls reaching 81 degrees. We'll be in the low 80s around Redmond and in Issaquah, Maple Valley at 81, Seattle up to 81 degrees, upper 70s around areas such as Bainbridge Island, but keeping on with more of the low 80s around Belfair, Tacoma, Puyallup, down around Yelm at 83 degrees. Centralia down through Longview in the low to mid 80s. 60s out towards the coast, and we got more of those 60s out towards the coast with some 80s around Quilcene, Shelton, and in Lake Cushman. Point Angeles, we're going to top off at 69 degrees. Here's your 7-day forecast. We'll stay in the 80s at least for it looks like one more day, or at least get pretty close to it into the day for tomorrow. Smoke haze starts to lessen to a certain degree heading into the weekend, but additional clouds will be expected, and we'll have some very small rain chances initially. Those low rain chances turn into a bit of a higher chance heading into next Monday, and if you are just looking for a really good chance of rain, Tuesday up next week looks to be our best chance as of right now, but definitely don't be surprised if you get some before then. All right, everyone, well, I hope that your week has been going well. Hopefully you've had a great Thursday, and enjoy your Friday as we get ready to head into the end of this short work week. We'll talk to you soon.